let me give you a quick introduction about him. So, Love Zohar is a seasoned governance, risk, and compliance professional and certified ISO lead implementer with over a decade of experience in cybersecurity and information security training. As the founder of Cyber GRC, he has delivered 10,000 plus hours of training to 20,000 plus professionals across 15 plus countries, empowering global teams to implement and audit ISO 27001, ISO 22301, ISO 27701, and ISO 42001 framework. Loves practical hands-on teaching style, bridge technical depth with real-world application, making complex GRC concept simple and actionable. He holds multiple certification including ISO 27001 and 42001 lead implementer, CompTIA Security Plus, ITIL V4, CCNA, and Prince 2 practitioner.
Welcome back to Cyber Talk with Cyber JRC podcast, where we simplify the complex security, privacy, and responsible topic AI for India's BFSI, FinTech, SES, and public sector teams. Today's episode is very important one because it's all about agentic AI. What is it? How powerful it is? How to manage it? How can your organization govern it using ISO and IEC 42001 2023, the world's first international AI management system standard? So let's begin with the questions. But first, we'll just have a look on what upcoming batches we have. So first we have DPDP Act 2023, that is practical job ready hands-on implementation training. And this new batch is starting from 8th of December. You can see all the contact details are given there. This batch is Monday to Friday batch, that is weekly batch, and timing will be 7 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. So anyone who is interested, who want to learn the advanced thing in this DPDP Act 2023, they can enroll for this. Let's begin
Vidya,
with
let
the
me add up to
questions.
this. See, this DPDP batch, this is second batch we are running successfully. We had an enormous response from the students. Even we are happy to say that many of our learners, they were happy to enroll for the course even before this act got implemented in India. Okay, so we are starting this second batch, December 8th. As you said, it would be a weekdays batch, Monday to Friday. The timing will be 7 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. as per IST timings. Whoever is planning to enroll for this, please get in touch with this below given phone number, WhatsApp, and email ID too. Similarly, we are launching the second batch of Fox after completing successfully the first batch with NEGD, which is a part of central government organization. We are starting the second batch with AIMS. Basically, it's ISO 42001. All both the courses, whatever we teach, it's completely hands-on training wherein we ask you to implement each and every clauses over the call or during the live sessions. Okay, this batch we are starting on 7th of December. It would be again a weekend batch. The Saturday and Sunday, 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. IST. Again, people who are looking for enrollments, please get in touch on the given numbers. Thank you, Vidya. You can take it up.
Yeah, we can begin with our first question. This is, what exactly is genetic AI? How is it different from traditional AI or LLMs?
So this is, I hope you can see my screen, right?
We do.
Hmm.
So basically, generative AI versus agentic AI, right? So generative AI is very simple to understand, right? We ask a question, we get the answer. For example, ChatGPT, right? You enter the prompt, it will give you the response. But agentic AI is different now. Agentic AI is basically doing the task for you, completing the task for you. For example, you ask the ChatGPT to tell you about booking a holiday, right? How to book a holiday, right? ChatGPT will give you the entire structure, how to book a holiday, where to go, and all that. But agentic AI will actually book the holiday for you. Okay, it will shoot the necessary emails to the service providers who are giving the holiday packages. It will try to gather all the information for you. It will do the task actually, rather than only showing the structure how it is done. That is a difference. Agentic AI is all about doing in practical. Yeah.
Mhm. Do we have an example that we actually like this, agentic AI exist right now?
See, right now, in many cases, we see the agentic AI being functioning right now, right? For example,
Mm-hmm.
if you have any area where you need automated processing, okay. For example,
Mm-hmm.
let's say you ask Siri to book the aeroplane, the flight tickets for you from Siri, right?
Mm-hmm.
It can book the tickets from App Store if you have the required balance and all. It can do that, right? So that is where agentic
Okay.
AI is being served already. Yes, it is already booking the tickets on your behalf. It is getting the
Mm.
task done. Okay, that is where agentic AI happens. Okay, where it is not only providing you instructions, it is actually doing hands-on. Okay.
Mm. But because this is so convenient, there is also a high risk related to it. So why is agentic AI considered high risk in enterprises?
Yes, because as you can see, it has a mind on its own. It is working, right? If you
Yeah.
see the
Mm.
flow right now, see, I'll tell you the flow how it works. So see here, okay, these are the components of a agentic AI. So it has a brain, okay, it can think, it can ask questions, it can generate response. It has access to different plugins also. It can search the internet, it can read a file, it can generate an image. See, all these are agentic AI capabilities, okay. It can review the work what is had done for you, and then it can automatically fix the mistakes also, okay.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so it's a very advanced version of the AI, right? And it has safety guardrails also, okay. So for example, if you want to
Mm.
make sure that there are no harmful actions against privacy or against biasness for anything like that, you can add those safety guardrails as well, so that it will ensure data safety as well. Then it has a memory on its own, okay. It can
Mm.
obviously see the previous step how this task was done in the past using internet, and it can actually create the same on its own, okay. Then it has a planning
Okay.
engine also. It can break the complex task into different small tasks. For example, if you ask him to create this particular food item, so in order to create the item, it has to get the grocery, it has to get all those the things first in the line. So automatically it will try to see from where it can get the grocery, how all those things can be aligned. This step by step breakup it automatically does on its own, okay. And it has a reasoning
Mm.
system on its own, okay. So these are all the different characteristics on which a agentic AI is based. See, this is different from the chat GPT that we are using. You have to be
Mm.
careful, because this thing has a mind on its own, okay. It can now actually do the work. It can predict what you actually want, right? So this is agentic AI in front of you, okay. Let me just show
Yeah.
you the
And
capabilities of what it can do actually, okay.
okay.
So you
Mm.
give it a goal, you give the agentic AI a goal, and agentic AI will actually try to fulfill that goal by breaking the goal into small tasks, okay. Like I told you, for example, if you want to book a holiday, it will automatically book the hotels, it will automatically book the flight tickets for you. Automatically it will do that, okay. Then it has autonomous decision making. It can make choices on its own without human approval, because its actual end goal is to actually solve the problem statement that you have given to it. That's it, okay. So it can automatically use apps, APIs, external tools to complete the task that you have asked it to do, okay. It
Mm.
automatically adapts to the environment, it learns from this past action, it improves over time. It performs end to end task. It has a memory on its own, and it can
Mm.
basically spot and fix mistakes automatically. The last bit, error detection and correction, is very important. because we have seen that even nowadays the chat gpt results are not always accurate, right? Because
Yeah, true.
it's just a response mechanism. But here it is
Hmm.
not the case. It can actually spot its mistake and correct automatically also. Okay, so this is an advanced version of that. Okay, this is where agentic ai
Okay.
capabilities now come into play.
Now
Is there
here,
a
let us
criteria?
understand, Vidya, let us
Hmm.
understand for, if we can go back to your previous presentation now. Okay, let us understand where exactly is this. No, I was talking about the other one, the next, right?
This one.
So just wanted, let us break down where does actually the generative AI stops, or where exactly this agentic AI begins from there, which it takes over the generative AI. Because what I see is industry is still definitely they are having a hard time in understanding generative AI basically. On that we are here to talking about agentic AI.
Yes,
Definitely,
yes,
most of them they have this query. What is it? Even
yes.
when we are having a challenge in generative AI, people are talking about agentic AI now,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
exactly.
Let us break it down.
That is that is where this small slide will actually help you. See, Gen AI, you talk about images, you talk about videos, you talk about text, anything you want, you ask it, it will give you, right? It's very simple. But agentic AI is different now. Agentic AI does not first of all works on a task actually. It does not works on a single task. It works on a goal. Okay. Now, what is your goal, Jan? You want to go for on a holiday for 7 days in a sunny area in London, for example. Okay. So automatically it will fetch that sunny location in London for that particular duration, and it will automatically reserve a hotel over there for you for that particular location, and it will automatically reserve the flights for you. Everything it is doing autonomously just to help you achieve your end goal. That is agentic AI now. You are not doing
Right.
anything. You are not doing anything. Let me remind you. It is only helping you to actually reserve the thing that you have asked us to do. Okay, but how? By breaking it down into small steps. Okay, so what it does, first of all, it tries to understand what are the sunny locations during this interval of time period when Jayant wants to travel. Okay, or do we have to change the time itself? All these things now it starts analyzing first. See, generative AI does not works like that. Generative AI is simple. You ask something, you get a response. Very simple, right? If you are happy with the response, you it's okay. Otherwise, you ask it to correct the response, because we know most of the times the responses are not correct also. But here it's not the case. Here it will check its own response also. As per your defined goal, it will check whether it's able to match your required goal or not. This part is also here, which is completely missing in the generative AI. It is not there.
So in that, it is very important for us to be clear on the criterias. We have to mention to the right agentic AI what exactly we want it. We have to be very clear on that part at least.
For
Upon
the
that,
for
it keeps on
for
giving
the
the
end goal.
guidance on that end goal,
Exactly,
right?
exactly. For the end goal that you are giving to the agentic AI, you have to be very specific on that. Yes. Otherwise, the output can be different from what you are asking. Actually, you are right. Okay.
Well, I think that is where this governance comes into the picture, if I'm right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
So
Right.
automatically, this agentic AI can go to the internet. Automatically, it can read your emails also. Automatically, it can respond to your emails also. It has all those APIs embedded. So it has that capability of autonomous working as a autonomous, I can say as a subordinate to you to handle all your tasks day to day. It has that capability.
Well, rather than I say it's a more of personal assistant that we have it, who can do most of our
Yes,
work,
yes,
right?
yes,
Good.
exactly. You can say
Interesting
that.
to know that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. That is where the industry is now heading towards it. Okay, now people are heading towards agentic AI now as we speak.
Good.
Okay,
But is it
but
open
yes,
for all?
yeah,
Like, but because it has a high risk nature, so is it open for all? Yeah, do people have like criteria to use it?
it is open for certain applications right now, like we discussed, for certain use cases. Okay, because if you definitely want to create some sort of a workflow where you want agentic AI to help you as an organization, you can do that, right? Because this facility is available now. Okay, this is already
Okay,
available in the
yeah.
market. Yeah, but yes, like you mentioned about the risk with, yeah, so see, these are so many risks now related to this, because this is now
Hmm.
autonomous. That is the first thing, right? it has autonomy,
Yeah.
it can think on its own. Okay, here basically it can actually dive into the areas where it might not go to actually, right? So there you need a lot of governance now. Okay, the goal misalignment could be
Exactly.
there. AI can auto optimize for the wrong goal due to poor governance, because like Jen mentioned, right, if your goal is not clear, it means vague, it can go here and there also. Okay, then
Exactly.
unapproved
Yeah.
actions, yeah, then unapproved actions, AI can trigger external systems without authorization workflows. Like I said, it has access, but what about the access being misused? We never know, it can happen, right? Then you have data drift mechanism, which is already a big issue in the AI. So this AI acts incorrectly due to the context changes and lack of monitoring. It can happen, right? So all these things are basically self modification. AI can alter its own task, like we discussed. Okay, so all these things are there because there is actually no human oversight for now in the agentic AI, and I think that is where the governance is very important, along with the human oversight, right?
Okay.
Right.
What are
Governance
the
followed
real
by risk assessment, I think. Right.
Yes, 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 yes,
Right.
definitely.
Go ahead, Vidya.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what are the real life examples of agentic AI use cases?
yeah. See, it's mostly used in banking, in fintech, in SaaS-based environment. Basically, in banking, you see autonomous loan related workflows, autonomous fraud detecting, bots that they have, autonomous KYC verification and reporting mechanisms that the banking has. Okay, so all these things are already
Okay.
being used. Vidya, we have a question.
Yeah. Agentic AI is part of generative AI.
It's a good question, Vivek. It's a part. It's not a part of generative AI. It is much more capable than a generative AI, I would say, because this thing can actually act on its own. It can think on its own. It has its own memory. Okay, and it can actually break down your entire thing and actually do it for you. See, generative AI will only generate some ideas for you. For example, if you will ask the generative AI to book a holiday, it will the chat GPT will not go and book a holiday for you, right? But this thing has the capability to do that actually. That is the difference here. Agentic AI can work with different APIs, can work with different tools, can work with different with different applications, and actually get the task done for you. That is the difference. Generative AI will only generate the output for you, right? It will not do the task. That is the difference. Yeah, Vidya.
But what makes agentic AI difficult to govern?
See, this unpredictable nature, the risk that we saw, right? Because you can't determine, it can go to a
Hmm.
different direction also, because if the goal is not clearly defined, it can go into different direction. Okay, it can act on its own. Okay, it is hard to audit because it is acting on its own
Yeah.
now. How will you audit it? Okay, so here we need a lot
Hmm.
of governance actually. We need human in the loop, we need human on the loop, everything we need here actually. Otherwise, it can go out of hand very soon.
So
How
let
does
us talk
ISO
about
42001 help in governance?
Wait, Jen has a question. Jen,
right.
go ahead.
No, like industry has already implemented generative AI. If they want to govern further on the latest AI that we are talking about, what should be their measures for them as a organization?
So, as an organization, if you want to now govern this, these are the controls for the agentic agent, like you're asking, right? So, see this. These are all the ISO for 2001 controls that the standard now gives for controlling this agentic AI. Okay. For example, you have to have governance first of all. Okay, to prevent any unexpected behavior. Okay, you basically have to have human validation for all the outputs that it is generating, right? You have to have human oversight. Okay, you have to monitor the data quality and model performance that
Right.
you are getting from it. So everything, everywhere you see, basically now monitoring has been introduced at each and every step, and monitoring, governance, everything has been introduced now. Okay, and human control, human oversight is being added at each and every stage of the agentic AI. That is where we are trying to now control it. Okay, by implementing
Okay.
mechanisms like transparency, explainability, all these things basically, which are integral for a responsible AI. So for any organization that is basically thinking about using the agentic AI in the future, I think this slide is the most useful for them. They can take a screenshot of this one.
Right, and for one who wants to get into this domain, basically AI domain or AMS, having a knowledge on ISO 42001, which talks about a framework, or AIMS, Artificial Intelligence Management System, is very crucial. Not an important, it's a very crucial, is what I see out of all this data.
Definitely, yes, because all these controls that you see on the screen, if you want to control and make the agentic AI behave as per your requirement, you have to follow governance. Without governance, it won't work,
Right.
right? Yeah,
Go ahead,
go
Vijay.
ahead with
Do you have
that.
any questions?
Yeah, I was about to ask that question only. How does ISO 42001 helps in governing agentic AI?
Yeah, by
So, yeah.
implementing all those controls
But
that we saw.
which
Yes, yes.
clause? Hmm. But which ISO 42001 clause are most crucial for genetic AI governance?
See, first of all, having a proper impact assessment is very important, right? The clause where impact assessment is
Hmm.
required is really important, and clauses where we have risk assessment are important. Okay, all these are very important in this scenario, because without
Okay,
having a
can you give
proper,
some examples of clauses?
yeah, definitely, we can have risk assessment clause number 6.1.2, and impact assessment is also there in clause number 6.1.4. Okay, so all these basically clauses
Okay.
are there which we can use. Okay,
What specific risk emerge when giving AI the ability to take actions autonomously?
see, AI can take actions on its own autonomously, that is true, but based upon the data input that it has, right? Based upon the training data that it has. The problem, Vivek, that happens over the time is that the data itself gets obsolete, right, over a period of time. Because if you do not retrain the AI model again and again with the fresh and new data sets, what starts to happen is that the autonomous nature actually starts different from the reality, right? So the example which I always take in the podcast with you, I'll take the same one. You open a restaurant today in summers with only 30 desks, right? And you ask the AI system to ingest all the data in terms of the consumable items, in terms of the groceries, in terms of the occupancy of the seats. But will that same data hold for the winter's month, or even for hold for the sitting capacity if you increase from 30 to 60? No. So
No.
but because all these new changes are not being constantly fed to the AI, right? That is the biggest issue, Vivek. That is called as a model drift, which is a data drift. Because of this drift, the autonomous nature, initially it works okay, but after a period of time it starts disrupting on itself, because it is not getting the new data, it is not getting retrained. Okay, it is not getting the fresh information what it should get actually. That is the biggest issue actually, the biggest risk actually, if you talk about. Yeah.
Okay, as we were talking about impact assessment, so I have a question that how should an organization perform AI impact assessment for agentic AI?
So it's a very good question now, especially for agentic AI. Because Jayant, are you seeing this? Now we are shifting actually.
Yes.
Earlier we discussed about generative AI impact
Generative,
assessment.
yes.
Now we are shifting towards agentic AI impact assessment, which is entirely different. So the first thing that we need to check in the case of agentic AI is, does this agentic AI capable? Is it capable enough to take autonomous actions or not? That is the first question. If it is has the capability to take autonomous actions, then it is a very high risk issue in itself, right? We have to put a very high risk flag on that then and there itself. And then we need to ask the questions like, how does this autonomous activity helping the affecting the people, the society? Is it affecting the safety of the people? Is it affecting the compliances, the laws which are written actually in the country? Is it affecting the infrastructure or not? All these things then we need to ask as per the autonomous actions. And what if this generative AI is misused? Because when we say autonomous, Jayant, it can be misused also. People can
Yes.
misuse,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. So this is basically uh, you know things that we need to ask. What about the kill switch? Do we have any kill switches in case it goes out of the hand? Do we have any kill switches?
Well,
I
that
don't
plays a
know.
major role immediately where we can
Yeah,
control the things, right?
exactly. I think most of you would have seen a movie where a robot was malfunctioning, and this guy just plugs out the chip and the robot stops working, right? So similarly, what are the mechanisms do we have here in this case? Do we have any kill switches or not? That is again a big thing, right? So, how do humans override this if something wrong happens in the case of agentic AI? All these are the questions we need to ask now, Vidya, because this thing again can think on its own and act on its own. This is agentic AI now.
So
Okay.
policy
What
procedure
guardrails does
has to
ISO
be
42000?
what I was saying, Vidya, like having a right set of policy procedure, and this has to be educated to all the one like employees or whoever is using that. That plays a crucial role here, right? Implementing, yes, definitely it's a challenging.
Exactly.
Post
Very true.
implementation consequences is that we have to be very much focused on the kind of result, even in between, if you want to stop the action,
Exactly.
right? That is where we have to be focused on.
Yeah, because people are still unaware of many of things like we are
Well,
discussing
I
in
am
this
sure
podcast.
agentic AI is definitely very new for most of us, right?
True.
World is just thinking
Yeah.
about, even they are talking about generative AI. That's it. Good to know about all those things.
I think this would be the first podcast on LinkedIn where we are actually discussing it in so depth. I am sure nobody would have discussed it at this level for now,
Right.
which is a good thing. I think we should spread the awareness. We should let people know what is coming up front now. So let's say you develop a credit card fraud agent. Okay. So this agent, this is
Hmm.
a agentic AI now. Okay. Now how it works is that it will block a card where it gets a fraud. For example, any credit card where the payment is due for a long time and has not been paid, or multiple transactions have been happened but nobody has paid. So anywhere if it sees a credit card fraud, that agent automatically blocks that card. Okay, so this is again autonomous behavior, Jayant. You're seeing it. It can block the card. It has that capability. But what if this AI, without proper impact assessment and without risk assessment, starts blocking the cards at a mass level? You can't stop it.
Hmm.
It's a massive
Exactly.
impact, right?
It's a massive
How
impact.
to
You
even
go to,
imagine, right?
yeah, and you go to shopper stop and you try to swipe your card and you see that your card has been declined because it's already removed. So yeah, so these are the kind of impacts which can happen now. Yes.
See, that is where a whole world
What?
is afraid about the consequences of having this generative AI or agentic AI, basically, or they are aware about AI. That's it, Gen AI. But consequences
Hmm.
are big time here. It has to be totally, completely gowned up right from end to end here. Go ahead with you.
In such cases, what you will suggest to the organizations, what they should do?
Yeah, so in these cases, Vidya, these are the controls, few of the controls that the organization can start adapting to, like we discussed, right? These are the ISO 42001 related controls that are suggested by the standard. ISO 42001 is the only standard right now that is talking about AI governance. Let me make it very clear. I think yesterday also, Jen, people were asking about how SOC 2 can control AI. SOC 2 is not there to control AI, guys. Please let me be again very clear on that. For now, ISO 42001 AIMS is the only standard globally which can help you to have proper AI governance. And after implementation of the standard, you can also get compliance with the EU AI Act also. This is the standard. Okay. Apart from this standard, SOC 2 is not for AI governance. Let me be very clear on that. I don't know from where people are getting this wrong information, but yeah, it's our responsibility to clarify that as well.
What's the role of EU AI Act when it comes to governance in India in such cases, genetic AI risk?
EU AI Act is basically an act that ensures that an organization, if they are developing an AI, their AI
Mhm.
should be responsible AI. For example, the AI should be fair, should not bias.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
should be basically explainable. People can see the reasoning, how it is making the decision making. It should be transparent. It should have human intervention also. All those criteria they have put in actually in the EU AI Act, so that when
Okay.
tomorrow let's say Jan says I want to create a AI bot, he can do that because now everybody is doing that. But when he
Mm-hmm.
produces it in the mass market, like in the society or in the credit card case which I just told you right now, if he is doing it in such a massive scale, he has to first of all ensure before doing that that the AI is a responsible AI or not. Only then he can actually go on and do it. Otherwise, EUA Act will put hefty penalties of any organization on any individual that are trying to actually deploy AI or use AI on the EU region. That is their EUA Act actually.
Okay. My next question is what guardrails does ISO 42001 expect from genetic AI?
So basically, these are the guardrails which you see on the screen actually. That ISO for 2001 can actually put on the agentic AI. Okay, guardrails are basically nothing but the controls only, right? So these are all the controls that the organization can put, okay, on the agentic
Okay.
AI. Yeah,
People who feels like taking a screenshot of it so that they can like use it afterwards, they can take it. Okay, my next question that we have is what should organization monitor agentic AI's behavior? Like how we should monitor, its behavior.
so yeah, you need to monitor the actions. What are the outputs of the agentic AI? You need to monitor that. Then most importantly, like I mentioned, you need to monitor the drift. Is model drift present or not, whether the agentic AI is drifting from the reality or not. Then you have to basically monitor how are the training data sets being revised, whether they are being retrained with the new training data sets or not. All these are basically the monitoring steps that you need to do. You need to create proper logging. You need to create proper audit trails for all the APIs being used. Then I think logging and monitoring here is very important, because without logging and monitoring and audit trails, how will tomorrow these organization will justify if anything wrong happens? They can't, right? So that is where monitoring and logging is
Yes.
very important.
Without that, they will not be able to track at all with
True.
respect to the consequences or whatever the action it has happened, right?
Right,
Yes, that plays a crucial role.
right, right.
So when you say about training data
Yeah.
set law, can you just bit
Yeah,
elaborate on
Vivek
that?
have.
Go
Yeah.
ahead, take up the question now. Go ahead with the question, Vidya.
Okay, yeah. Vivek is asking means genetic AI, agentic AI, sorry, means agentic AI demands strict oversight. One wrong step can create irreversible outcomes.
That is absolutely correct, Vivek. Yes. The agentic AI actually demands a lot of oversight, a lot of monitoring, a lot of auditing, everything it needs. Yes. Completely true.
Yeah, before it goes irreversible, we have to
Hmm.
make sure what is the control we have in place. That plays a crucial role here.
And if it goes in a irreversible
Yeah.
state, do we have a kill switch or not? That switch also now we have to start thinking about.
No, I think we need that switch before even going for irreversible stage,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. You need to have that pull off switch immediately if something goes wrong. Yeah.
No, I was talking about training data sets basically. So just wanted to understand more on that.
So
How an organization
training,
can train the data
yeah.
set. Yeah.
Whenever any organization tries to go for artificial intelligence, they need to create the machine learning models. Okay, they have to code the models, and for coding the models, the data scientists use a lot of training data. Okay, so they use millions and billions of data sets, and gradually the machine learning models using the algorithms and all, they start to identify the patterns in those data. For example, this is how a cat looks like after you feed 10 million data sets of a cat. Then it will start immediate then recognizing how a dog looks like when you feed in again millions of data sets for that. This is how machine learning learns on its own, right? This is how AI basically gets the insights from the data. Okay, that is why data sets are very important. Now, instead of a dog pictures, let's say, if I put pictures of another animal and try to make the AI think like it's a dog. So for AI, those pictures again are actually a dog only, because AI can't imagine that what is a dog. So depending upon the data set, if the data sets are poisoned, if the sets are not correctly input, the output of the AI will actually get entirely influenced. That is why data sets are very important.
True, true, true.
Okay. So the final question is that what steps should companies take to start governing agentic AI today?
Yeah, now today you are confused between generative and agentic. Ah,
Now,
yes, it
because we
happens.
spoke about generative AI, agentic
Genet-
AI, I think she's getting
Yeah.
confused, right?
Yeah,
It
yeah.
happens.
Don't worry, don't we'll do so
Whole
many
industry is
podcasts on.
confused, not you. Whole
Yeah,
industry is confused here.
we'll do so many podcasts on this now that you will be having the clarity. Don't worry. Okay, so basically now you need to classify your AI first of all, whether it's a generative AI or agentic AI, like you mentioned. Okay, that is the first thing for the organization to do.
Yeah.
Then second thing is that once you have done the classification, then you try to perform a AI impact assessment. Okay, and then you identify the autonomy boundaries, till what extent it can make the autonomous decision, what all access to the API does it has, what all tools can it use, what all algorithms can it use. You have to see all those boundaries first, and then you have to apply ISO 42001. Then you have to put the governance around it. Then you have to monitor the behavior. This is how an organization should go like. And again, anybody who wants to do practical hands on what all we are discussing, because I know half of you will not be able to understand after watching this podcast what we are discussing. That is where we have these courses for you, so that you can come, you can join us, you can actually see in the live how these things actually work. Otherwise theory only will not help you, especially in these cases. Definitely it won't help you, right?
I
Okay.
see. That is
Thank you.
where most of us got misguided basically. When we think about learning some things, we think of more of theory itself. But whereas we have to be focused on learning practical aspects, right?
Yes,
That is
yes,
where
yes.
we focus, learning practical things.
Right.
Good.
Okay. Thank you so much. That was it for today's podcast. And Agentic AI promises massive efficiency gains, but without governance, it brings actually massive risk. So ISO 42001 give Indian enterprise and global organization a practical, structured way to make agentic AI safe, again, accountable, and it makes AI accountable and enterprise ready. Thank you so much, Love, for breaking this down, and thank you to all our listeners. And stay tuned for more, GRC updates and like AI and everything. How you can govern and what risk can come, and what compliance you should use at your organization to safeguard from it. And if you have any questions, any topic you want next us to cover, you can feel free to comment. And yeah, thank you so much. That was it for today.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Vidya. Thank you,
Vidya.
Jen.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
everyone. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye bye.